So this is for whoever is planning to enter Thailand very soon. This is the current process of how to get into Thailand. But first and foremost, I want to just tell you guys how to get the Thai pass. This is going to be your Thai pass, your QR code. It's going to contain all of your information on there. We'll go ahead and explain what you need to apply to be able to get proof of that. You want to book your flight ticket. So it's either a one-way trip or round-trip ticket. But just know that if you book a one-way trip, you do have to show proof of like an onward ticket. Next, it will be the health insurance. So for us, we applied through AXA, I believe it's Sawadee Insurance. This is basically a Thai health insurance. It has all the coverage that you need to be able to fulfill the Thai pass. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description below if you want to sign up for that. So next, it will be your proof of accommodation. You also need to show proof of your vaccines record. For us, we applied for an e-visa, which gave us an extended 30 days. It's not required for the Thai pass. It's just optional. If you want to apply for a longer stay, you can go ahead and apply online. So again, the requirements to get your Thai pass will be your accommodation, health insurance, proof of vaccinations if you are vaccinated, and proof of flights. So just a quick helpful tip when booking accommodations for your quarantine, you want to make sure the hotel provides free airport pickup and PCR tests, and any other stuff that's included in the package. It's entirely up to you if you really need them. But as long as you have airport pickup and PCR tests, you are good to go. And PCR test is per guest. If you're coming in with a partner, your partner will have a PCR test. So it's a little bit confusing online. Our experience, it might be different from everyone, but for us, we took Japan Airlines. The only thing that they asked us was for our Thailand pass and for our PCR test. So hopefully you took your PCR test 72 hours before your departure flight. Depending on the type of flight that you have, if you have a one-way, you want to make sure you also have an onward flight ticket. But if you have a round-trip ticket, you don't have to worry about that. So the only thing that they'll ask is your Thailand pass and your PCR test, and basically after that, then just go through your normal security check. Everything else was a breeze because at the airport, it was obviously not too packed because of COVID. So once you get into Bangkok, there's going to be some workers right at the arrival hall. They're going to be giving you a document. It's basically you just have to fill out. It shows that you are under the quarantine for 1 day. The test and go scheme. Make sure you keep this paper. This is very important. So once you receive this paper, you're gonna continue walking to where the immigration office is at. There's gonna be a lot of rows of blue seats. You're gonna sit down there, make sure you have all your documents ready, your Thai pass, accommodation, PCR test, and any of the other requirements, health insurance. They're gonna check if everything is good. They will tell you to go line up, and then some other workers, they're gonna double check your paperwork. They're gonna sign and stamp it, and once everything's good to go, you continue walking straight to the immigration, and then basically give them all the paperwork. They'll go ahead and just check your Thai pass in to see you have all the required documents.
And they'll stamp you in.
And then they'll stamp you in.
Normally, for me, every time we go through some kind of immigration, I'm always held back, but this time it happened to pour. So I was super surprised because I was done before him, and then I'm just kind of like, dude, what is that girl looking on her computer?
It's because I didn't hand her our onward ticket because we booked a one-way flight ticket. I was required to show my onward ticket, which took a while. But other than that, the whole process was still a breeze.
Yeah, it's so organized and it just went by so smooth. It wasn't even packed and crazy crowded, so I was really, really shocked and surprised. Like we were in and out like, what, 1 hour? Because usually it's like you're stuck there for 3 hours, I swear.
It really depends on high season, low season. So after going through immigration, everything's good. Basically, you just head out to the exit and look for whichever hotel that you or accommodation that you booked. Then you're gonna go, like I said, show the pink paper, your passport.
There's a lot of people there to help you too. So they'll be like, "Where's your hotel? We'll help you." And then your driver's down there. Let me call him. So it was like really nice.
They'll go on ahead and pick you up, take you directly to the hotel, and depending on how the process works for each hotel, it may differ from hotel to hotel. You'll get there, take your PCR test, and then basically quarantine for the night. Then you'll get a call from the lobby to see whether you're negative or positive. If you're negative, basically after that we could travel anywhere. We can go anywhere in Thailand. As of right now, you are required to take a second PCR test. So you'll have to take that second PCR test on day 5 or day 6 after arriving to Thailand. So I believe your hotel can inform you of which hospital you can go to take your PCR test. So like I said, basically Thai Pass, health insurance, accommodation, PCR test, your flight schedule or flight ticket, either onward ticket or round trip ticket.
Once you have all those paperwork and you pay for all those fees, everything will be very, very smooth.
And that's basically it. And just make sure you complete all the forms that are handed to you when you're about to arrive in Thailand, such as a TM6, TM8, and that pink paper, which is important, that we just mentioned before. Make sure you have that with you. Just letting you guys know that you do need to show proof of your next residential stay. So if you are staying for the test and go one night, you do have to show proof where you're going to be after that quarantine night. So that was one thing that we didn't know about, or like no one told us about. So we figured that once we got to the immigration office. We just said, oh, you know, we're probably just gonna extend it. But after that, you go ahead and book another hotel stay and go on from there. Just some quick information on how much you'll be spending. Well, this is like a rough estimate. For our accommodation, we paid about $200. It included the airport transfer and the PCR test. So that's basically like the main thing that you need. Health insurance, we paid about $80 for a month, which is good enough to satisfy the Thai Pass. PCR test, we paid about $199 for that PCR test, and it, like I said, it may vary to you depending on where you take it. And we also applied for an e-visa to extend our stay in Thailand, which costs about $40. If you're interested in applying for a visa, go ahead, click that link in the description below. And that's basically it. It's just a rough estimate of how much you'll be spending. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just leave a comment and we'll go ahead and get back to you as soon as we can. Until then, we'll see you next time.